today's topic is one that I think over time we have gained more awareness about, and it's not something even in my generation that was really considered when it comes to your skin and the connection that it has with other parts of your body. So today we're going to be talking about the skin gut brain axis and what's going on inside your body shows up on your face, and why no amount of product can actually fix that if you're not looking at the entire picture. So I have the perfect person to discuss this topic with today, and that is Rosie, one of our educators. So she's an expert on all of this stuff, unlike me, and we're going to be asking her all the questions that you're probably thinking about right now. Rosie, thanks for jumping on. I feel like every second client is asking us about the skin gut brain axis and why it's important to your gut health, and why is it such a big topic that everyone's now talking about.
Yeah, you're right. It definitely is a big topic that everyone's talking about, and there is a lot of, news out there. There's a lot of different information that's been put forth as well. So, the skin-brain-gut axis is basically just a definition of the connection between your skin and your brain and your gut as well, basically, and just how they communicate between each other. I think it's really important because it governs our immune system and our overall health. So really just realizing how interconnected our body is and how it's not one-dimensional. So kind of going away from treating it separately, but more treating it as a whole. And I think people are realizing now, like, I'm actually really connected. My whole body is really connected. So I think that's quite an amazing topic to actually explore deeper into.
Yeah, absolutely. And so with this discovery of the skin gut brain axis, is this a new science that's been discovered, or is it just something that we weren't aware of before?
There's been a lot of research, I would say more so even over the last 15 years, and a lot more discoveries about the microbiotica itself and how important the diversity is for our bodies and prevention of things like illness and viruses and just our overall state of health. So that kind of information has been coming forth in the last 5 years. So there's some real powerful data behind that. And a lot of the science, when you really look into it, it absolutely makes sense. It kind of ticks in your brain, oh, that's why I've been feeling that. Or, oh, that's why I've been feeling so fatigued. And that's why I don't feel that good, even though I should. So, yeah, I think it's a really interesting topic for absolutely everybody because it is your body, right?
Yeah. Can you tell me more about the microbiome and how does it affect human health?
So your gut microbiome is probably your most diverse microbiome system. So your gut microbiome is home to trillions and trillions of different microbes. There's over 1,000 different species. They're anything from like your different types of bacteria to viruses, different organelles, and and fungi as well. And they will make up the diversity. You always have good and bad. So you have beneficial bacteria, and you've also got pathogenic, harmful microbes as well. So that kind of makes up the balance. Think about it as like the Amazon rainforest, how there's like so much diversity there, so many different plant and animal species, and that's kind of what makes it go around, right? So really important to have that diversity, but more beneficial bacteria at play. So you need it to be more positive, beneficial bacteria. How it influences overall human health is an abundance of different things. So it's actually responsible, certain microbes, they will actually digest complex carbohydrates, and they will actually help to utilize energy as well, reduce inflammation in the intestines too. Vitamin synthesis, so they assist in synthesizing essential micronutrients into the system too, and also pathogen protection. So particular microbes that you have in your gut will actually protect you from certain toxins and viruses as well. That's really important. And also build antibodies in your immune system. So yeah, disease prevention is a huge thing. Another thing as well is that certain microbes will actually help with mood regulation. So how your body produces serotonin and dopamine and oxytocin can be regulated by certain microbes. So yeah, basically determines the overall health of your gut. If it is in too much favor of harmful bacteria, you're going to have a lot of inflammation and pressure on the gut wall, which will in turn make toxins leak out into the bloodstream and cause variety of different issues within your system. So yeah, really important that we do keep a healthy gut to help with the motility of food, digestion of food, and extraction of nutrients.
And when someone's skin-gut brain axis is off or their gut health is not, I guess, optimal, can you actually see it on someone's skin, or would you say it's more subtle than that?
I'd probably say it depends how long the gut has been in dysbiosis and how long they've kind of left it in a poor state of health as to whether it's going to be quite obvious on the skin or not. But if you are a skin therapist, you would notice it quite easily because you know what to look for. Typically what happens is when you have an imbalance of bacteria in your guts, you have to have good and you've got to have bad bacteria. Is what makes up the diversity of your microbiotica. But when you've got too much harmful pathogenic bacteria, they create a toxic byproduct, and that puts a lot of pressure and inflammation on your gut wall. Then you get leakage of toxins into the bloodstream that causes a histamine response, which will later turn up and show up in your skin. So that can exacerbate things like acne, psoriasis, dermatitis, rosacea. Any inflammatory skin disorder you can think of can be exacerbated by an imbalance in the gut. So that's kind of how it all comes about. First things that you'll probably notice is the barrier function will be off because your gut microbiome influences your skin microbiome, and that's your skin's first line of defense. So typically the skin will be more dehydrated, a little bit more inflamed. It'll just feel a bit tighter and rough in texture as well because it basically changes the way that the skin keratinizes and your cells differentiate too when your skin's not in a healthy state. And then if it's been left for a long period of time, you will see that acne can get exacerbated. You might see the skin secreting more thick oil. The skin might be more congested. There's more inflammation. So yes, it can make acne look more angry as well. And it can actually sometimes be the root cause of acne.
And with this, I guess the changes in someone's skin, like what period of time would you expect that to happen if their gut has an imbalance? Like how quickly would they start to see these changes happen?
Yeah, I mean, depending on how severe it is, if it's someone who has been really abusing their body,
Yes.
I guess, of, been having too much alcohol, too much processed foods, very, very high sugar diet, maybe coupled with stress and lack of sleep and things like that, you would easily see it within 2 weeks. It would show up as exacerbated acne. It'll throw off the balance of your androgens, your male hormone as well, which will produce more thicker, unhealthy oil secreted by your sebaceous glands. That will contribute to more acne too. It creates the perfect environment for acne to thrive, basically.
Yeah, and by the sounds of it, it actually can happen quite quickly.
Yeah, acne typically will take about 2 weeks to truly develop. So usually within that time frame. But yeah, everybody's different as well. And it depends if you have a predisposition for acne or not too.
Yeah, that's interesting. When someone comes in with breakouts or redness and it won't budge no matter what they put on it, what would you recommend for someone like that? How would they correct that if we were to look at treating the whole picture?
So if we're looking at someone who's got quite an inflamed skin and they also have some acne lesions as well that are quite stubborn, you definitely need to purify the skin topically. So you need to be making sure that you have a really amazing cleanser. Cleansers, ideally, that might have beta or alpha hydroxy acids in them just to help with the clarity and cell turnover in your skin. You need to make sure you supplement the skin with hydration. So a really good, lightweight, non-comedogenic moisturizer with lots of nutrition to the skin. Always have to protect the skin from the sun as well. And ideally, you do want to use an exfoliant once or twice a week. Don't overdo it. Never over-exfoliate. You're going to make your oil glands produce more oil. So the best thing to use is like an enzyme exfoliant. Just use it once or twice a week. Very gentle, has a proteolytic effect. So it just gently sloughs off dead skin. It doesn't force it off. That will help with the clarity. And then you need to focus on your gut. Like, you have to focus on your gut, or you will never get on top of your skin. You will never ever achieve healthy, clear, glowing skin. When it comes to the gut, you have to start with optimizing the microenvironment for the beneficial bacteria to feed off. So you can't necessarily just dump probiotics. It'll help to make more beneficial bacteria in the gut, and it will kind of even out that balance. But if you don't actually create a healthy environment for the healthy bacteria to thrive, then you will never really be able to have a healthy functioning gut. So prebiotics are really important. And this is where fibre comes in as well. Fibre is really important. Fibre not only works as a really amazing prebiotic, but it also helps with gut motility. So it helps food digest through your system quicker and more effectively, so you don't get all backed up. It's really important. Definitely prebiotic fibers, and putting in very well-researched probiotics is a really great way to quickly get on top of it. Absolutely. Things like immunogos, other things as well, like your sun fiber, and then also like your other probiotics, which are things like your bacillus coagulans, and Saccharomyces boulardii. So those things are really important to just quickly get on top of things whilst you optimize the gut. Antioxidants, really important, because antioxidants will remove inflammation and also calm irritation as well. And other things that you can do is focus on your hydration. If you're not well hydrated, you won't have a well-functioning gut. And that's not just water, it's also cellular hydration as well. So things like really balanced electrolytes can really help to optimize the gut too.
Okay. So there's a couple of things just based on what you said there I think could be worthwhile diving into a bit deeper. So I think there's a misconception when it comes to breakouts and oily skin. It's already producing too much oil. You don't want to put anything too hydrating or that sort of thing on your skin. And like you say, the exfoliant, like, people overdo it because they think they need to kind of like strip the skin as opposed to, yeah. So what would you say to that?
But I mean, your skin's very intelligent, first of all, and it needs a really good balance of water and oil. If you go and strip the skin, so you're really trying to clarify the oil glands and you're trying to really just get on top of the acne very quickly, it's going to have an adverse effect. So what it's going to do is but not only strips the skin's pH, so it will throw off the balance of the pH, which is very important for your microbiome. It will also throw off the balance of the microbiotica. It'll break down your hydrolipid barrier in your skin. So what happens is your skin becomes less cohesive, and then you have a gateway for water to come out, and you've also got an entryway for pathogens to come in. So that's not good. So you need it to be compact and hydrated. That's really important for an acne skin. If you're stripping the skin, your skin's going to try and protect itself. So it's going to try and secrete more oil. So you'll actually make the problem worse. You're going to make the skin more imbalanced, more inflamed, more oily, and you're going to make it more susceptible to harmful bacteria. So yeah, you're definitely not doing it any favors in that respect. Yeah, chuck away the scrub, whatever
apricot kernel, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. Just biff it away. Chuck away your foaming cleanser from the chemist, or whatever harmful bleach type ingredients it has in it. It's not doing you any favors.
Yeah, it's aggravating the skin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll never forget, ever forget. And I was a skin therapist over in Brisbane, and there was this woman, and she was absolutely beautiful. She had a full face of acne though, so it was really defacing for her. And I was in Giant Mall in West Brisbane, and I was just in the bathroom, and I could see her washing her face, no joke, with the soap from the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
And she was scrubbing it. And I'm quite a shy person. I don't really like to approach people, but I went up to her and I gave her my card because I worked at a skin and laser clinic there. And I was like, I've had acne before. Just pop in and I'll give you some samples and have a good look at your skin.
Yeah.
You don't have to. There's no obligation for you. But I was like, that's definitely not going to help.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's pretty rough.
It was really sad actually to watch her do that. I was like, you can tell that it really wrecked her confidence, and just to be that desperate to clarify her skin, I was like, oh my gosh, you poor thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it is awful. And just coming back to the gut, so you were saying about people not wanting to be backed up and that sort of thing. So, with relation to that, if, for instance, someone wasn't going to the bathroom regularly, they were having issues with their gut, potentially constipation, can that also have an effect on the skin? Like, is it that the toxins are building up within the body and then that then has an effect on the skin, or how would that work or impact a
Yeah,
person's skin?
absolutely. I mean, it does put pressure on your bowels, on your colon as well, the microbiotica within your colon, and lastly, your gastrointestinal tract. So when you are backed up, and people can be very backed up, like they can have a lot of, it sounds gross, but a lot of crap up
Yeah.
there. A lot of people are backed up, particularly in like with a Western diet and also high stresses as well. And we can talk about that a little bit later. But how stress affects it. But yeah, definitely elimination of waste is really important. Like, you know, when you see someone who's really grumpy and they say, oh, that person's full of crap,
Yeah.
there's a reason why, because they truly are full of
Yeah.
crap usually. It really affects your mood.
Yeah.
There are certain microbes that can affect your dopamine receptors and your serotonin receptors and actual brain chemicals as well. So when you throw them off balance, that can obviously be problematic for your cognitive function and the way that you feel about yourself. And it just causes more inflammation. More inflammation in your system is never a good thing. And it's always going to affect your mood too. So definitely the better working your bowels are, the more happier and healthy and more energy you'll have as well.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
guess like comfort too, you know, like you'll just feel more
Yeah.
comfortable because who wants to be
Yeah.
full of crap?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, like, it affects your sleep too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever had a bit crappy sleep, mind the pun, but if you've had a crap sleep, it's usually because you're full of crap.
Yeah.
But it really does, it backs you up
Yeah.
and makes you gassy as well.
Yeah.
It can accumulate the gas as well. And that's very uncomfortable. It can be quite painful too. And it definitely affects your sleep and stress and everything. But yeah, that's another thing, I guess, to consider is when you have a lot of stress, and all of that is connected, right? Like if you don't sleep very well, you're going to be more stressed and vice versa. But when you're very stressed and you've got high elevated cortisol in your system and you're running in a sympathetic mode, so your body is in a fight and flight response, it's trying to survive, what your body naturally does, and this is a biological thing, you can't help it, your body doesn't fully shut it down, but it makes your digestive system take a back seat. So it's like, right, all of this is not that important right now. This person needs to survive. So you're just going to take a back seat and we're not going to worry about you, right? So if someone's in a really high cortisol state for a prolonged period of time, yeah, they're not going to be extracting nutrients properly. Their bowels won't function properly. Their microbiome is going to be thrown off. They will be backed up. Notice how if you've ever been stressed, you're probably not going to the toilet. And that's typically because your gut motility is slowed down significantly.
Yeah.
Because your body is trying to survive. So, yeah, really important that you take that into consideration as well, and find ways to get yourself back into a parasympathetic state where your body can actually heal and digest properly too.
Yeah. And I guess with that, that's where the brain connection comes in with relation to, I'm assuming, like stress and things like that. So if someone were experiencing high amounts of cortisol, if that's
Cortisol.
how you were to phrase it, would that also show on their skin?
Yeah, absolutely. Typically, high cortisol can show on the skin because it does a few things. Your pupils will dilate, your blood capillaries will dilate. I guess what you'd see is capillaries dilated, blotchy skin, erythema. They also talk about cortisol face, which everyone seems to go on about. Typically what that is cortisol will affect your lymphatic system too. So that's going to make water retention higher and it can make you look more puffier too. So there's definitely a few ways that you can kind of combat that. You can do lymphatic drainage. Your body and your face is full of lymph nodes. So you can do certain techniques yourself, particularly coming down the neck here, and it's just very gentle strokes.
Like the gua sha? That's probably quite good
gua
for
sha
that.
you can just use your hands though, but you can easily just use your hands and gentle tapping movements just below your collarbone as well, just to help to assist your body. Drinking water is very important, like drinking water and moving actually exercising, doesn't have to be a run, but literally moving your body is going to help your lymphatic system and reduce cortisol as well. Breathe work. So making sure that you are breathing through your nose, give it a decent, long 4 to 5 seconds through your nose, and then another long 4 to 5 seconds through your mouth, and do it up to 10 times to really tap your body into that parasympathetic mode. Obviously, stretching, eating really good whole foods, anti-inflammatory foods is going to be useful as well. And just being really more, mindful and intentional in things that you are putting inside your body and doing with your body. Don't stay for too long on your devices. Just say to yourself, actually, I've done this long enough. I need to get up and stop wasting my time and do something a bit different. So just keep everything really intentional and your body will thank you for it.
Yeah, I think it's about what you're consuming, and that's like as a whole picture. So what you consume internally as well as externally, because obviously in this day and age, like phones and devices and all that, like we spend so much time on them, but it's also about what you're actually doing on your device when you're on there. Like, are you just mindless scrolling? Because that's not really of benefit. So I fully agree with that. Like how, there's so many things now. And I think that's a good thing about social media and stuff is there is a lot more education about, these sorts of things like the cortisol face, as you mentioned. That's like a trending thing at the moment where I've seen it everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. And also how it impacts insulin and that can have a huge impact on the body. So it's actually quite interesting when you understand how it works more.
Yeah, so high cortisol and also like a low fibre diet as well can affect insulin sensitivity and put you in a more insulin resistant state. So it can make your body store more fat. Glucose is fat and it can be very hard to shift. That obviously doesn't make you feel good about yourself either. But I think it's really important to take away, especially in this day and age, because everything is so fast. The way that you scroll for your phone's very fast. The way that we move is fast. Everything's quick, right? I think it's really trying to go back to making those mundane things a little bit more interesting. So you're not rushing through life, I think it's very important to do that. When you're making a breakfast, make it a little bit more intentional and just give your body that time to rest, give it time to relax and chill out a little bit.
Yeah, like ground yourself a bit more. I like taking half an hour to go out for a walk on your lunch break or something like that. And I think it's like, those little things are quite underrated now, but that's kind of what grounds you and just makes you feel like a person, where you're not like in this rat race continuously.
Yeah, I know. I saw something like the other day, something about I'm going on my mental health walk.
Yes.
And I'm like, it's just a walk.
Yeah.
Like, why does it have to be a mental health walk? It's a walk.
Yeah.
Like humans are designed to walk and get exercise and be out in nature. And, like everything I believe is energy.
Yes.
Like we're not designed to be in an artificial environment for too long. So just get out there and just make it part of your lifestyle. It's what you're designed for. Take your socks off. Go
put your
earth
feet
yourself.
on the sand or like on the grass or in the water.
I always find it quite interesting, even looking at my little girl, Kira, because she's 2. But I find it quite fascinating that like she always wants to take her socks off. She always wants to run around outside with bare feet. And I'm like, yeah, you're pretty onto it, eh? And then she wakes up in the morning and she does her little yoga moves. I didn't teach her that. Like, I'm not doing it in my living room.
Yeah.
She just naturally does her little downward dog and her little baby cobra. And I'm like, humans know.
We know, yeah. We unlearn though, I think, as we get older. Like when you're young, even flexibility and all that, we have all of that when we're little. But then as we get older, we don't continue to practice it. So it's like we are kind of like born and they just naturally happen when we're young. But then I think as we get older, we just like lose touch with a lot of stuff.
With reality.
Yeah.
And I think the internet has a lot to blame for that and all the pressure on people as well. Because even like when you're a kid and you're quickly learning boundaries and you're like, no, go away or like, leave me alone kind of thing. It's like boundaries obviously have to be kind to people still, but they are very important too. And I feel like people have, not everybody, but I think there's a lot of pressure these days to kind of look a certain way, feel a certain way, tick this off the list or you're not doing very well. So that pressure, it almost makes you a little bit of a people pleaser or like your key to happiness is external.
Yes.
Whereas like you've got to hold your boundaries in the nicest way possible. Like you don't want to be a cold-hearted person stomping around, but you've got to
Full of
stay
crap.
true to your boundaries. It's just walking around full of crap.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think, the boundaries thing is something you have to, again, relearn, like,
Relearn.
it's very easy to let that down, like you say, to please people and want to do everything to make other people happy. But you have to look at yourself and like, why do you need external validation? Like it's not, because it really doesn't matter at the end of the day.
You're the best friend you'll ever have. Be your own best mate.
That's
That's the most important thing. I do think like when we sort of like look at gut health and the skin brain gut axis, it's not like really one dimensional as you've just discovered from our conversation. It's obviously there's so many things that come into play with it. It's great that there's heaps of research going out there. We just want to make sure that we are getting the right information. Well,
I think that's valid. You want to make sure the information you are consuming or getting is from resources that are reliable, because obviously social media and all that, like anyone can say anything on there and anyone could believe it.
I find it has a way of vilifying a lot of things, like don't have too much of this because it's going to do this, or actually you don't need that, you need this more so. And that's where it gets very confusing for people. They're like, hang on, I thought that was good for me. So it's really just getting a bit more of like a narrow approach to everything as well, but still obviously very informative too.
So coming back to the skin, if we were looking at someone with a imbalance in their gut, so the skin would basically be the last thing to fix, not the first thing. Is that correct?
I mean, you can fix it at the same time.
Yes.
Like you can absolutely be doing things topically on your skin. There's amazing treatments out there, incredible treatments with skin regeneration. Obviously amazing products too to invest in. Always go professional, get professional products. You have the advice and you have the guidance as well from a professional too. And you can fix it at the same time as you're fixing the gut. You don't have to fix one thing and then wait for the other. But if you're not fixing your gut, if you're not focusing on that and you're just doing the topical stuff, you are truly wasting your money. It's a very superficial level. So your skin is an external organ. It's our largest protective organ. It's also essentially our reject organ. So it gets the last of everything. Obviously, all of the nutrients that we ingest will go to our vital organs that keep us alive. So obviously things like your heart and your liver and your kidneys, etc. So the skin needs more goodness to thrive. It needs more good stuff. So always think about your skin whenever you're, choosing what to eat as well. Like, how is this going to benefit my skin long term if you do want to age gracefully?
Yeah. So I'm taking from that you can treat them side by side, but essentially the skin is probably going to be the last outcome you'll kind of see from the treatment, because obviously you need to repair the inside, and then once the inside is starting to come right, then you'll start to see the effect on the outside.
Let's say you're taking like really advanced prebiotics and probiotics, and you're also taking collagen. Collagen's a fantastic way to impact the skin very quickly. Usually within about 10 days, you can actually, if you really look, start to see some clarity in your skin. And that's just the reduction of inflammation. When it comes to your gut, and taking those prebiotics is going to very quickly affect your skin. So it's going to secrete more healthy, free-flowing oil. It's going to look less inflamed. It's going to look more even. It'll start to see a bit more clarity. But that 10-day mark is like when you kind of see like those little positive changes coming through. You want to definitely absolutely give it, depending on what you're trying to correct, anywhere between 30 and 90 days. So say if you had quite aggravated acne, it was relatively severe, you'd be wanting to give it a really solid 90 days to get some like real great clarity with your skin and healing from your skin as well. And obviously you want to continue it on through there. But if you're using a supplement in particular, give it a solid 90 days to really see a true result.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with anything, it's like consistency is key. So the longer you commit to doing something, the better results you are going to see, rather than like there's no quick fixes in this world, like you can go and do something, but it's only going to fix it for now. And then like the
Yeah.
same thing's going to happen. So yeah, I think
It's interesting that you said that. Actually, I just saw something this morning and it was talking about the huge rise in people getting facelifts, like how it's very, very common these days in New Zealand as well, in Australia, even very quite young people in like their 30s as well. They're saying in their 60s plus, more mature skin, they're going and getting these facelifts. But what happens is they still look like a 60-year-old with a facelift.
yeah,
They're not actually looking
younger.
younger.
Yeah.
So, and that's because the integrity of their skin has not been prioritized. So that's the issue there. You need dermal density and epidermal structural density as well to make your skin look healthy. And yeah, you don't get that from a facelift.
That's a whole separate topic is,
Yeah.
the quick fix. And, it's not like an easy, cheap thing to do, but how plastic surgery is now such a trendy thing, like everyone is doing it. And because now it's like, pay this much and go to Turkey and do your surgery. And yeah, sometimes, there's obviously reasons why people do it.
Definitely
Like maybe
becoming more
health
mainstream.
reasons, but yeah, it's something almost like every man and his dog now. It's like, I want a faceless because I have one like single like bag hair or something, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
but like you
People
say,
seem to have a bit of a phobia of having like a little smile line or something these days,
Yeah.
which I actually think it was funny. Like one of my friends, she's like so beautiful, like absolutely stunning, beautiful bone structure, extremely fit as well. She's fitter than most men that I know. She went and got a photo shoot done. She photoshopped her face so much that almost it looked blurry. And the photo was beautiful, but I was like, she's taken away your features and definition that actually make your face so beautiful. And like she works outside, she does have quite a few like smile lines and a little bit weathered skin, but she's still very, very healthy as a person, and it gives her character. And I'm like, you've got no character now.
I think the aging gracefully thing is kind of like, I don't know. I feel like that concept has kind of changed now. People.
It's definitely gone out the window, aging gracefully. I feel like it needs to have a comeback.
Reason, I understand, having the right tools to maintain your skin. Like, there's so many amazing treatments you can have now.
There's a lot of talk in the industry about going away, which I think is very positive. It's taking away that anti-aging kind of context, like that negative quick fix kind of way of doing things, and thinking more like skin regeneration, skin longevity. So skin longevity is the new sort of thing that's coming through in the skin industry anyway, preservation.
Coming back to the axis, what's a really common daily habit that would be quietly wrecking the axis without people realizing?
Not tapping out. So I've learned this the hard way personally with like sleep struggles, but like anywhere from, I think it's 2 p.m, you need to allow your body to wind down. So you need to stop overstimulating. You might not want to do like your strength training or exercise, like if it's intensive in the afternoon either. And you might want to drink like, chamomile tea or a hot cacao or something very calming. Do some stretches, spend time with your family, like positive time with your family, get off your devices, have a bath, like actually allow your system to wind down so you can get a nice, decent healing sleep. And that's really important because your skin heals at its most optimum time, where all of the cell mitosis is occurring, the skin's actually activating and really properly healing and detoxing. It happens between the hours of 2 and 4 a.m. If you're not getting a solid sleep and your cortisol is very high and you're waking up all the time at 3 a.m, your skin's not going to properly heal. So that's a huge thing as well. Obviously, as we spoke about before, if your sleep's not good and your stress levels are high, your digestion will take a back seat. So your gut's going to play up too. I would probably say that. If I can add a second thing on as well, I would say definitely add fibre to your diet. so healthy fibers to your diet. If you're on a weight loss journey, high protein's really important, super important for muscle development, but you need to make sure you pair your food with fiber, good healthy fats, a little bit of carbohydrate as well. And that's the way that your body actually functions. So it can actually utilize those micronutrients properly. You can't just have protein.
Yeah.
So you need to have healthy fibers too. So whether that's from fruit or vegetables or a fiber blend, just get it in you. It'll help your gut motility and then your energy levels and your overall health. Absolutely.
Yeah. If a therapist was listening right now, spotting the imbalance between the gut-skin axis, what sorts of questions could they be asking to identify that this is an issue?
I guess it's more of like a personal question though, because you can go for your consultation form and be like, how many hours sleep do you get, rada. But I would probably just ask my client, hey, like on a daily basis, how do you feel internally? How does your gut feel internally? How does your mood feel? Like, just ask them, like, are you feeling good on a daily basis? Do you have energy? And like a lot of people, that kind of opens like a bit of a door for them. You might get the whole story. It'll give you some insight. If someone's like, oh, I'm generally pretty good, I have really good energy, and you can go a bit deeper and ask them about their bowel function if you want to. I think it's quite an invasive question, but you can definitely do it if you're comfortable, with your client and you know them. But yeah, you'll get an indication about their lifestyle, and then that will tell you, how everything's sort of functioning for them. And you can definitely like link it back to skin as well. You can say, look, I can see a fair amount of inflammation in your skin. I can see that we need to focus on barrier repair. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about your lifestyle and try and pinpoint some things that maybe you do within your diet or day-to-day activities that we could tweak a little bit to try and optimize your gut health and overall skin health. So you can link it back to skin quite directly too.
Yeah. So I think based on our conversation today, a lot of what I'm hearing is that you need to look at the whole picture when you are treating skin. And, maybe the way that we are treating skin is different to how it was done 5-10 years ago when we were just looking at acne or just looking at anti-aging or skin rejuvenation. Like now we understand a lot more. So we are treating it more as like a whole picture.
Absolutely. And we have a lot of clinics, particularly that I work with, that understand that whole body approach to skincare, and they love it. They love the science behind it. They love working with a really great internal range and seeing the results come through. But then there's still some professional therapists out there that have a little bit of a stigma, I guess, behind prescribing internals. They sort of think to themselves, like, it's not my place. I haven't studied. I don't have a qualification as a dietitian, etc. So I cannot prescribe supplements or I cannot prescribe internals. But that's, in a sense, absolutely untrue, because your client can very easily have access to an abundance of different supplements, a huge, massive wide range of supplements in the global market that they can just get from the internet or pop down to their chemist without any advice. So when you take on a supplement, obviously you want to make sure that it has really good training behind it, so you can understand each and every ingredient and any precautions as well. Absolutely any skin therapist can be offering an internal option for their client, and I think it's a must-have now. Like, you have to have it, because otherwise your clients are not going to know what direction to steer in, and it will affect your skin results long term. So the outcome of what you're doing in the clinic, it will be impacted by what your client's doing at home. So I think it's great to work with something internally.
Yeah, and I guess at the end of the day, it's supporting what you are doing in the salon. That's essentially how we have to look at it. If someone only remembers one thing from today, what should it be?
Slow down. Slow down.
Yeah.
I think, just like be intentional, slow down, I would say. That's going to give you the best chance at healing your body.
I agree with that, actually. So if you have enjoyed today's podcast, please let us know in the comment section or leave us a review. Thank you, Rosie, for joining us today to discuss the skin-gut-brain axis. I hope everyone's had an aha moment and learned something from today, and we will see you guys next time.